Hi, beautiful people. How are you? This is Bethany, founder of Numinous, the organization that sponsors the Global Peaceful Cities Project. As many of you remember, we do those group meditation research projects and do some measurements. This video is to invite you to an entirely different opportunity. Because I was running the Peace Projects and we were doing measurements working with a State University of New York professor, Dr. Karina Reinhold, we were doing measurements. So I always wanted to know the best, the most cutting edge practices for altering consciousness and for meditation. And so I would search this world far and wide. God only knows how much I've spent just looking for best practices. And so I have my kind of favorite tools. And after I've studied for so many people for so long, you just kind of see commonalities. You just see what works, what doesn't, what's fluff, what's not. And so the thing that one of my favorite tools is something called Access Bars Consciousness. Many of you may have heard this before. It's been around for a long time. It's been vetted for quite a while now. And so it is, and I remember years ago when I first heard Access Bars, I knew that there would be something, really something it was worth looking into. And sure enough, years later I did, and I've been, practicing Bars practitioner since. So essentially what bars is they would never call this an energy modality. They basically say you put fingers on certain places in the head and you kind of, and basically just by placing fingers there, kind of energy sort of runs and the brain waves start to balance out and you're able to kind of lift into a different state of consciousness, or maybe you can even say descend into the lower brain waves. And so what'll happen is say you've been really super stressed for a while, say you've just been ruminating negative thoughts and you can't seem to stop the rumination, right? Which is anxiety. Anxiety is when people's minds are just running, and they have because they've been going down those same neural pathways all the time, it's hard for people to rein it back in, right? So bars really helps you to stop that rumination and to have you experience what does that feel like, right? Because if you don't really know what these kind of other states of consciousness can be like or how they feel and how to get there reliably, repeatably, then, often we feel at the whim of our random thoughts, right? So anyway, I'm going to be offering a bars class on August 28th. It's 9 to 5. And I guarantee you, if you have any interest in this, you will find it a very fun day. And what's so neat about this is that there's an initial cost, but that if you do the day, basically what can happen is if you come stay with a friend or you meet other bars practitioners, is you don't have to keep spending money on it because you can just keep sharing bars with each other. So very often I'll call up any of my bars friends and I say, hey, you want to do a bar session? And then the person comes over, and not only do I get the benefit of receiving bars, but also as I'm giving them, my whole energy is switching around as well. So it's this beautiful, there's a profound healing for both people. We really just, I like it because my intention or the way I train, I kind of train like an athlete to do meditation. I'm conditioning my nervous system to move into heightened states at will. And this certainly gives me a bump up. That being said, just to let you know, I am coming out, I've written a book and I'm working on the platform behind it. I've been working with people privately for 3 years, over actually 3.5. And we are basically launching something called consciousnessathletes.com. And so this idea of making this work available to the public, of us reliably and repeatedly working in our nervous system to be able to live from heightened states of consciousness. And I have been blessed to be working with athletes. I call them athletes. They're consciousness athletes. And I've been working with athletes now for 3.5 years. And we have been diving deep and exploring. And it's just such a beautiful community. And many of them are into the bars as well. So that book will be coming out. The reader copy will be coming out in I believe about a month. It might be out on Audible as well, but basically an official launch for the spring. And if you're interested, you can go to the website consciousnessathletes.com to find out more. But anyways, going back to bars, just because I'm so passionate about consciousness and heightening consciousness, this is one of my absolute favorite tools. So not only is it really just about these points on the head, but it's also about living your life. It's about how you are relating to the field of intelligence that's around you. So it's almost like a lifestyle as well, as far as the philosophies. And you don't have to take our word for any of this. You become your own scientist and you try it out yourself. In fact, speaking of scientists, if you look below, I'm including the video of Dr. Jeffrey Fannin. He's a neuroscientist. Actually, he's done my brainwaves before in the past. And Dr. Fannin was the first neuroscience to work with Dr. Joe Dispenza for the first, I think, 5 years he was doing that. And so he has observed thousands of people meditating their brain waves, and you will see a video of Dr. Fannin reviewing the profound changes in people's brains in just one session of access bars. Okay, one session, that's it. And these huge changes, and you'll see his enthusiasm, and you'll see the objective measurements of actually what happens in the brain. This is so important in our society right now, where people are really feeling just weighted down, pretty miserable, high of anxiety, a lot of reasons for all of that. So just having a day to hit reset, to hit the delete button, help yourself, find yourself back to joy and well-being for a little bit, that release, that relief. We all need this right now, which is what's been prompting me to offer this as well. So we'd love to have more practitioners to share this with. And as I said, we have a lot of fun because when we do group things, we'll have like, say maybe 3 or 4 tables. So that would be like 6 to 8 people, and we'll do a bar session, and we break for some food, and then we come back and we do the second bar session, and it's always this hugely healing day, and for such minimal cost. So please reach out. I'm going to leave my email in the comments, and love to hear from you. Also, just let you know, we're going to be changing peace projects, and the whole platform has changed. And so we could really use, I'm sure you could probably agree, right, that we could all use a little upliftment, and we could all use a little bit more lightheartedness. So that's essentially the direction we're going to go. You'll hear more as time goes on. All right, thank you so much for listening this far, and I think that's it. All right, please, you can check out the video to the book just as a teaser, and you know, I'll be offering classes on that as well. The Become a Consciousness Athlete is a 4-month class that I'll talk about in the future. But this bar stuff is great stuff. So, all right, thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.